This is the Grand Cathedral built upon the ashes of one of London's most destructive disasters and surviving the German Blitz of World War II. Behold St. Paul's Cathedral, an icon of the London skyline. This is the fourth cathedral in London dedicated to St. Paul the Apostle. The first one dates back all the way to 604 AD with the Saxons. The second one was destroyed by Viking raiders, and the third one that we now know as Old St. Paul's started construction in 1087. It took nearly 3 centuries to complete. By its completion, it had the highest spire in all of Europe, but the spire burned down due to a lightning strike in 1561. As England entered a bloody civil war, the cathedral fell into terrible disrepair. A marketplace was set up inside, and apparently a road passed through its transept. Sir Christopher Wren was hired to revitalize the cathedral. He was a Renaissance man during his time because he was not only an architect but also an astronomer and mathematician. He ventured over to Paris to learn about the great Baroque architecture from the genius Gian Lorenzo Bernini, who's a famous sculptor and also famous for his work in the Vatican. However, on September 2nd, 1666, a fire broke loose at a bakery located at Pudding Lane. Winds were strong, so the fire spread quickly. You see, during that time, London was tightly packed with wooden frame houses and straw thatched roofs. It didn't rain for weeks, which is rather unusual for London, so it was the perfect conditions to catch fire quickly. All attempts to extinguish the fire were futile as residents fled across the River Thames to escape. It took up to 5 days for the fire to go out, burning down 13,000 homes and 87 churches, including Old St. Paul's. This is the monument in remembrance of the Great Fire. Shortly thereafter, Parliament passed the Rebuilding Act of London, mandating that all buildings be built out of stone or brick. Christopher Wren now had the task to completely rebuild St. Paul's Cathedral. He would build the first great dome of England, rivaling those of Florence, Rome, and Paris. It would take only 35 years to complete construction, and by 1710, it became the tallest building in all of London. It held that title for 250 years. Christopher Wren actually had a plan to rebuild the city in the grid system with wide avenues spreading out from grand plazas. However, at the time, England was running out of money because they were fighting the Anglo-Dutch War, so they were unwilling to put in the effort to handle all the land disputes that would certainly happen if this plan were to continue through. So Wren's vision never came into fruition. However, Wren went on to design more than 50 churches, bringing life to London after the Great Fire. And St. Paul's went on to survive another great disaster, the Blitz of World War II, becoming a symbol of resilience for the UK. Stay curious, my friends.